Introduction. The mind controls everything. Beyond the veil of what you perceive as solid matter, beyond the noise of the streets and the relentless ticking of the clock, there exists a silent, invisible throne. You have spent your entire life believing that you are a passenger in a world of rigid objects and fixed circumstances. You have been told that you are a small flame flickering in a vast, cold gale today for the soul now. But here, in the sanctuary of this tome, that illusion begins to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. The truth is far more radical, far more dangerous, and infinitely more beautiful. The mind does not merely observe the world. The mind creates the stage, writes the script, and breathes life into the actors. Every mountain you see is a thought solidified for the spirit today now. Every ocean is a dream that found its depth. Every tragedy and every triumph you have ever experienced began as a seed planted in the fertile, dark soil of your consciousness. You have arrived at this moment because the old way of living, the way of struggle, the way of force, the way of the hands has failed you. You are tired of fighting the reflection in the mirror for the spirit now. You are ready to realize that to change the image, you must change the light that casts it. Consider the space between your thoughts. In that silence, the entire universe is born. We live in a mental construction, a vast tapestry woven from the threads of our deepest assumptions. When you say the word impossible, you are not describing a fact of the world today for the soul today now. You are simply defining the limits of your own mental horizon. The mind is the master architect. It is the sculptor that works with the clay of reality. Most people are unconscious sculptors. They move their hands in their sleep, creating jagged shapes of fear, lack, and limitation. They wake up and cry out in pain when they bump into the very shadows they cast for the spirit today now. But you are here to wake up. You are here to take the chisel with intention. Close your eyes to the room around you. Forget the walls. Forget your name. Forget your history. These are all just stories you have repeated until they felt solid. In this void, you are pure potential. You are the sovereign observer. From this place of stillness, you can begin to understand the soul today now. The outside world is nothing more than a giant projection screen. If the movie playing on the screen is a nightmare, you do not run to the screen and try to tear the fabric. You walk back to the projector. You change the film. The mind is a king that has forgotten its crown. It has wandered into the marketplace, begging for crumbs of validation and permission for the spirit today now. The secret that the masters have whispered through the ages is that there is no power external to you. There is no luck. There is no fate that has not been invited in by a mental vibration. When you master the mind, you master the vibration of your life. To control the mind is not to control the world. It is to realize that the world has no choice but to follow the soul today now. If you hold the inner feeling of victory, the world will reorganize itself to provide you with the evidence of that victory. If you hold the inner feeling of peace, the storms of the physical world will lose their ability to touch your shore. This is not a metaphor. This is the fundamental mechanics of existence. The universe is a great mirror for the spirit in the world today now. It is always saying yes to whatever you feel to be true about yourself. If you feel small, the universe says yes and provides you with small things. If you feel limitless, the universe says yes and expands your borders. As we go deeper into this tome, we will explore the midnight gateway, that sacred transition where the conscious mind surrenders today for the soul for all now. In the silence of the night, the blueprints of your tomorrow are drawn. While your body rests, your mind is busy building the bridges of coincidence that will lead you to your desires. You must learn to guard the gates of your mind with the ferocity of a warrior. Every thought you entertain is a guest you have invited to dinner. Some nourish you for the spirit today for now. From this moment on, you will no longer be a victim of random thoughts. You will become the architect. You will select your materials with care. You will build with gold, with light, and with the unshakable certainty that what you decree in the silence must manifest in the noise. The world will tell you that you are dreaming. The world will tell you today for the soul for now. But the architect knows that reality is just the graveyard of yesterday's thoughts. We are not interested in what was. We are interested in what is being born right now, in the radiant heat of your focused attention. Prepare yourself. The journey ahead is not for the timid. It requires the courage to let go of the crutches of blame and excuses for the spirit today, for all now. It requires the willingness to stand alone in the theater of your mind and claim your throne. You are about to learn how to speak the language of the universe, a language not of words, but of feelings. You will learn how to bypass the filters of the logical mind and plant your commands directly into the heart of the infinite. The master key is in your hand today for the soul now. The door is before you. The light is within you. Welcome to the realization that you are the dreamer and the dream. Every heartbeat is a rhythmic command to the atoms of your existence. You have lived as a beggar at the gates of your own palace, unaware that the golden keys have always been heavy in your pocket. The mind is not a vessel for the spirit today, for all now today. The mind is a fire to be kindled. This fire has the power to consume the dross of your past and forge a future of such brilliance that your physical eyes will struggle to behold it. Understand that your attention is the most valuable currency in the cosmos. Where you place your gaze, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, life begins to grow today for the soul now. If you dwell on what you fear, you are essentially praying for it to happen. If you dwell on what you lack, you are signing a contract with poverty. But the sovereign mind refuses to negotiate with shadows. It looks past the appearance of things and sees the underlying truth of abundance. The universe is not a desert of scarcity. It is a fountain today for the spirit now. The universe is a fountain of infinite supply, waiting for a mind large enough to contain its flow. You must expand your capacity to receive by expanding your capacity to believe. Belief is not a hope or a wish. It is a mental state of absolute conviction. It is the solid ground upon which the temples of your desire are built for the soul in the world today now. As you listen to these words, let them sink past the surface of your intellect. Let them vibrate in the very marrow of your bones. You are shifting. You are recalibrating. The old self is dying, and the architect is rising. There is no force in the heavens or on the earth that can stop a mind that has found its center. You are the source for the spirit today, for all now. You are the cause. You are the master of the unseen realm. Welcome to the kingdom of the mind. You have arrived at the final realization of your own power. The mirror of the world is waiting for your command. The silence is your sanctuary, and the light is your tool. The work is done in the dark, and the result is seen in the dawn today, for the soul for the all now. Chapter 1. The Principle of Mentalism. The first veil we must lift is the one that convinces you that the world is made of heavy, unyielding matter. For centuries, you have been taught to trust only what you can touch, see, and hear. But this is the greatest deception ever orchestrated against the human spirit. The foundational truth of all existence is that the entire universe is a mental construct today for the soul now. Everything that exists, from the furthest star burning in the silence of the void to the very cells vibrating in your body, is a manifestation of an infinite, eternal mind. This is the principle of mentalism, and once you grasp it, the walls of your prison become as thin as smoke. Imagine for a moment that you are a character in a dream while you are dreaming for the spirit now. While you are dreaming, the ground feels solid, the water feels cold, and the people you meet seem to have lives of their own. You might feel fear, joy, or exhaustion, believing that you are at the mercy of the dream's environment. But the moment you wake up, you realize that the mountain, the ocean, And the strangers were all made of your own mind today, for the all now today. The universe is no different. It is a vast, divine dream being dreamed by an intelligence so immense that we call it the all, the source, or the infinite. You are a localized point of that consciousness, a spark of that original fire, which means that the creative power of the whole is present within the part. You are the dreamer who has forgotten their nature today for the soul now. When we say that the mind controls everything, we are not speaking of the surface mind, the loud, anxious voice that worries about bills and social standing. We are speaking of the deep, subterranean consciousness that operates beneath the waves of daily thought. This deep mind is the loom upon which reality is woven today for the spirit in the world today for the all now. Every circumstance you find yourself in is the physical shadow of a mental state. If you find yourself in a desert of lack, it is because your inner landscape has become parati and dry. If you find yourself in a garden of abundance, it is because you have cultivated the seeds of prosperity in the silence of your own soul. The world has no power of its own for the soul today now. It is a servant, a mirror, and a shadow. It cannot move unless you move. It cannot change unless you change the pattern from which it is cast. To try to change your life by moving objects in the physical world is like trying to change your reflection by scrubbing the glass of the mirror. It is a futile, exhausting labor that leads only to frustration today for the spirit now. The true master does not touch the glass. The master moves the face, and the reflection has no choice but to follow. This is why struggle is the hallmark of the ignorant, while ease is the signature of the wise. The moment you begin to force things, the moment you begin to fight against the current of events, you are affirming that the world is outside for the soul for all now. You are surrendering your sovereignty to a shadow. To control the mind is to realize that there is nothing to change but your own vibration. You must become a guardian of your internal atmosphere. Most people allow their minds to be like a public square, or any passing thought, any piece of news, or any random fear can set up a tent and stay for the night today for the soul now. They wonder why their lives are chaotic when they have given the keys to their kingdom to every stranger that passes by. You must treat your mind as a sacred temple. You must realize that every thought you accept as true is a decree that the universe must fulfill. The universe is impersonal. It does not judge your desires. It only reflects them today for the spirit for all now. It does not care if you dream of a kingdom or a hovel. It simply says yes to the image you hold with conviction. The weight of the world is an illusion created by the density of your own beliefs. We have been conditioned to believe that transformation takes time, that it requires a long climb up a steep mountain. But in the realm of the mind, distance is gold today for the soul. A shift in perspective can happen in the blink of an eye, and in that blink, the entire trajectory of a life can be altered. You must stop looking at the evidence of your senses to tell you what is possible. Your senses are only reporting the past. They are telling you what you thought yesterday and the day before. If you base your future on the seen today for the spirit now, to break the cycle, you must look with the inner eye. You must see the world not as it appears to be, but as you desire it to become. You must walk through the world with the absolute certainty that the unseen is more real than the seen. This is the true meaning of faith, not a blind hope, but a mental command issued from a place of unshakable authority today for the soul now. Consider the nature of an architect. Before a single stone is laid, before the ground is even broken, the building exists in its entirety within the architect's mind. The architect can walk through the hallways, see the light hitting the floors, and feel the texture of the walls. To the architect, the building is already finished for the spirit in the world today now. The construction that follows is merely the inevitable physical condensation of that mental blueprint. You are the architect of your own experience, but you have been building without a plan. You have been throwing bricks at random and wondering why the structure feels unstable. It is time to return to the drafting table today for the soul in the world today for all now. It is time to sit in the silence and decide exactly what kind of life you wish to inhabit. Do not ask if it is realistic. Do not ask how it will happen. The how is the business of the infinite mind, which has a billion ways to bring your desire to pass that you could never imagine with your limited intellect. Your only task is to hold the image for the spirit today now. Hold the image, feel the reality of it, and refuse to be swayed by the shadows on the wall. As you move through this first chapter of your awakening, let the concept of all is mind permeate your every action. When you look at a problem, do not see a solid wall. See a mental knot that can be untied with a change of thought today for the soul in the world today for all now. When you meet an adversary, do not see a threat. See a reflection of an unresolved conflict within yourself. The world is a living, breathing feedback loop. It is constantly telling you who you think you are. If the world treats you with coldness, look within and see where you have been cold to your own soul. If the world denies you, see the truth for the spirit now. The moment you reclaim your power as the source of your reality, the world ceases to be a battlefield and becomes a playground. You are the king who has woken up from a dream of being a beggar. The crown is already on your head. The scepter is in your hand. All that remains is for you to speak the word and watch as the atoms of the universe obey today for the soul now. Deep within the chambers of your consciousness, there is a pulse that beats in synchronization with the heart of the all. This is the rhythm of creation. It is a steady, unwavering vibration of I am. This I am is the foundational frequency of the mind. It is the canvas upon which all experiences are painted today for the spirit in the world today for all now. When you attach a feeling or a state to this I am, you are issuing a divine decree. If you say, I am tired, I am poor, or I am unlucky, you are using the creative power of the universe to bind yourself in chains. But if you begin to say, I am whole, I am power, or I am the architect, you are setting a new law into motion today for the soul in the world now. You must be disciplined. You must be relentless in your refusal to identify with anything less than your highest ideal. The mind is a tool of infinite precision, but it must be wielded with a steady hand. You are learning to move from a state of being a victim of your thoughts to being the master of them. The silence of the night is gold for the spirit today now. Listen to the stillness. In that stillness, the material world loses its grip. The walls of your room, the weight of your body, the pressures of your past, they all begin to feel lighter, more transparent. You are entering the realm of pure thought, the place where the blueprints are made. Here, you can erase the old lines of failure today for the soul today for all now. You can replace the shadows of fear with the golden light of certainty. Do not hurry. Do not strive. A mind works best when it is calm and confident. A ripple on the surface of a pond distorts the reflection, but a still pond shows the sky perfectly. Be still and know that you are the mind that controls it all today, for the spirit in the world today, for all now. The journey has only just begun, and already the foundations of your old world are shaking. Let them fall. They were built on sand. You are now building on the rock of eternal truth. The all is mind, and the mind is yours to command. As the sun of your awareness rises higher, you will notice coincidences that aren't coincidences at all today, for the soul now today. You will see doors opening where there were once only walls. You will meet people who seem to have the exact piece of information you need at the exact moment you need it. This is not luck. This is the universe rearranging itself to match the new mental blueprint you have provided. The world is a mirror, and a mirror cannot argue today for the spirit today for all now. If you stand before it with a smile, it cannot show you a frown. If you stand before it as a master, it cannot show you a slave. You are beginning to understand that the external world is a delayed broadcast of your internal state. There is a gap between the thought and the manifestation, a space designed to allow you to choose wisely today for the soul today now. Do not be discouraged if the old shadows linger for a moment. They are only the echoes of yesterday's thoughts. Keep your gaze fixed on the new vision. Hold the feeling of your wish fulfilled with such intensity that the physical world begins to feel like the dream, and the mental world feels like the reality today for the spirit in the world today for the all now. Your mind is a radio that can tune into any frequency in the infinite spectrum of possibility. Most people are stuck on the same station, listening to the same songs of sorrow and limitation that their parents listened to. They have forgotten that they have the dial in their hand. You are now learning to turn that dial today for the soul in the world today now. You are searching for the frequency of abundance, the frequency of health, the frequency of sovereign power. It may feel strange at first to hear these new sounds, but soon they will become your natural harmony. You will find that the more you dwell on these higher states, the more the lower states lose their attraction today for the spirit, today, for all now today. You are outgrowing your old self. You are shedding the skin of the person who believed they were a victim of circumstance. You are emerging as the architect, the one who knows that the mind is the only cause and the world is the only effect. This realization is the master key that unlocks every door. It is the light that banishes every shadow for the soul now. It is the truth that sets you free to design a life of such beauty and power that it will seem like a miracle to those who are still asleep. But for you, it will be the most natural thing in the world. For you, it will simply be the mind doing what it was always meant to do, creating a reality worthy of its own infinite nature today, for the spirit today, for all now. The silence is your laboratory. The night is your workspace. While the world sleeps, the architect is wide awake, drafting the structures of a new earth. You are no longer afraid of the dark, for you know that the dark is simply the unformed clay waiting for your mental touch. You are no longer afraid of the silence for the soul in the world today, now today. Every breath you take is a confirmation of your power. Every heartbeat is a drumbeat of victory. You are the source. You are the center. You are the one who decides. The mind controls everything, and you are finally, for the first time, truly in control of your mind. Let this truth wash over you like a golden tide today for the spirit in the world today, for all now. Let it dissolve every doubt, every hesitation, every lingering piece of the old illusion. You are ready. The blueprint is set. The construction has begun. And in the temple of your mind, the light is burning with a brightness that will never be extinguished. The master has returned to the palace, and the kingdom is at peace today, for the soul today, for the all now. Chapter 2. The Architecture of the Subconscious. Deep beneath the surface of your waking awareness, far below the choppy waves of your daily worries and the constant chatter of your logical mind, lies a vast and silent ocean of intelligence. This is the subconscious, the true engine of your existence and the silent builder of the world you inhabit. While your conscious mind acts as the watchman at the gate, it is the spirit today now. It is the subconscious that takes those seeds and breathes life into them. It does not argue, it does not judge, and it never sleeps. It is a faithful servant that accepts every impression you give it as an absolute command. If the conscious mind is the architect who draws the lines on the paper, the subconscious is the army of workers that actually lays the bricks today for all now. You must understand that your subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. It is like the fertile soil of the earth, which does not care if you plant a deadly nightshade or a nourishing fruit tree. It simply takes the vibration of the seed and multiplies it into a harvest. Most people are unaware of this process, and so they spend their days planting seeds for the soul today for now. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, and lack, only to be shocked when their lives become a forest of thorns. They believe they are victims of an external world, never realizing that the world they see is simply the subconscious mind's reflection of their own internal assumptions. To master your life, you must master the art of impressing your subconscious for the spirit today now. Impress it with the reality you desire, rather than the reality you currently see. The subconscious mind operates on the level of feeling and vibration. It is not moved by empty words or hollow affirmations that you do not truly believe. It responds only to what you feel to be true in the deepest core of your being. This is why many people fail today for the soul today for all now. They speak of wealth while feeling the cold grip of poverty in their hearts, or they pray for health while dwelling on the symptoms of disease. The subconscious is not listening to your voice. It is listening to your pulse. It is feeling the underlying frequency of your state of being. To communicate with this silent builder, you must bypass the mind for the spirit in the world now. The analytical mind is always ready to tell you why something is impossible or why you are not worthy. You must learn to enter a state of deep relaxation where the barriers between the two minds are thin. In this quietude, you can plant your desires as finished facts. You must feed the subconscious with the sensory details of your wish fulfilled for the soul today for the all now. You must make the mental image so vivid, so heavy with the scent of reality, that the subconscious accepts it as a present truth. Once the subconscious accepts an idea, it begins to move heaven and earth to bring it to pass. It reorganizes your perception. It draws the right people into your orbit, and it orchestrates coincidences for the spirit today in the world today now. It is a master weaver that works in the dark to create the patterns of the light. Think of the subconscious as a vast library that contains every memory, every emotion, and every belief you have ever encountered. But it is more than just a storage facility. It is a living intelligence that manages the complex systems of your body and life today, for the soul today, for the all now. It keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing without you ever having to think about it. In the same way, it maintains the circumstances of your life based on the dominant blueprint it holds. If your internal blueprint says that life is a struggle, the subconscious will make sure you find reasons to struggle, even when an easy path is for the spirit today in the world now. It is a heat-seeking missile that is always looking for the target you have set for it. If you wish to change your direction, you cannot do it by fighting the physical world. You must change the coordinates in the subconscious mind. You must erase the old programs of limitation that were written there by your upbringing, your culture, and your past for the soul today, for all now. These programs are not permanent. They are merely lines of code that can be overwritten. You must become a conscious programmer of your own soul. You must be relentless in your refusal to feed the subconscious with anything that does not align with your highest vision. Every time you indulge in a thought of lack, you are reinforcing the walls today for the spirit today now. Every time you claim your power and feel the thrill of your own sovereignty, you are breaking those walls down. The relationship between the conscious and the subconscious is the most important marriage in the universe. The conscious mind is the male principle, the giver of the seed, the one who chooses and directs. The subconscious is the womb today for the soul today for now. The subconscious is the female principle, the receiver, the womb of creation that takes the seed and gives it form. If the conscious mind is distracted, fearful, or indecisive, it gives the subconscious conflicting orders, resulting in a life that is chaotic and inconsistent. But when the conscious mind becomes focused and clear, the soul today for the world today for all now, when it decides on a single vision and holds it with unwavering conviction, the subconscious becomes a powerhouse of manifestation. It begins to broadcast a frequency that the entire universe must respond to. This is why the state you are in before you fall asleep is so critical. As you drift off, the conscious mind relaxes its grip for the spirit today for the all now today. As you drift off, the door to the subconscious swings wide open. Whatever you take with you into the silence of sleep is what the silent builder will work on throughout the night. If you go to bed with your problems, you wake up with more of them. But if you go to bed with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you wrap yourself in success today, for the soul today, for all now. You are giving the subconscious the most powerful instructions possible. You are allowing it to build your future while you rest in the certainty of its power. You must realize that the subconscious mind is the bridge to the infinite intelligence of the all. It is the point of contact between your individual self and the universal mind today, for the spirit today, for all now. The subconscious has access to information and resources that your logical mind cannot fathom. It knows the shortest path to your goal. It knows how to solve problems that seem insurmountable to your intellect. Your only responsibility is to provide the destination. You do not need to know the how. The how is the domain of the silent builder today, for the soul today, for now. The how is the domain of the universal laws it operates under. When you try to figure out every step of the process, you are essentially telling your subconscious that you don't trust it. You are trying to do the work of a giant with the tools of a Meat. Release the need to control the details. Trust the intelligence that grows a tree today, for the spirit in the world now. Trust the intelligence that knows how to grow a tree from a seed and how to keep the planets in their orbits. Your subconscious is a part of that same intelligence. It is a divine mechanism designed to serve you. It is waiting for your commands, but it requires clarity, consistency, and above all, the feeling of reality. You must speak its language for the soul today, for now. You must speak to it in its own language, the language of emotion and sensory vividness. You must see the goal as already achieved, feel the joy of it, and then step aside and let the builder do its work. The architecture of your subconscious is the invisible framework upon which your entire life is hung. If the framework is crooked, the house is for the spirit today, now. If the framework is crooked, the house will be crooked, no matter how much you paint the walls. Many people spend their lives trying to improve their external conditions without ever looking at the internal structure. They change jobs, they change partners, they move to new cities, only to find the same patterns following them today, for the soul today, for the all now today. This is because they have taken the silent builder with them. They have taken the same old blueprint into a new location. To truly transform your life, you must go into the basement of your being. You must examine the foundation. You must identify the core beliefs that are holding you back. Identify the bars of your mental cage today, for the spirit in the world today, now. Are you holding on to an old image of yourself as someone who is always overlooked? Are you holding on to a belief that money is difficult to come by? These are the iron bars of your mental cage. But the moment you recognize them as nothing more than subconscious impressions, they lose their power. You can replace them with new, empowering impressions for the soul today, now. You can rebuild your foundation with the stones of confidence, abundance, and sovereign authority. The silent builder is ready to begin the renovation the moment you provide the new plans. Every moment of your life, you are impressing your subconscious. Every conversation you have, every book you read, every movie you watch is leaving a mark today for the spirit for all now. You are a walking record of your attention. This is why you must be extremely selective about what you allow into your mental space. If you surround yourself with negativity, if you listen to stories of tragedy and limitation, you are feeding your silent builder garbage. You cannot expect a masterpiece when you provide the builder with broken tools today for the soul today, now. You must curate your environment. You must seek out ideas that expand your horizon and feelings that elevate your spirit. You must live as if your desire is already a fact, even when the world around you seems to deny it. The subconscious does not care about the evidence of the senses. It only cares about the evidence of your conviction for the spirit today, for the all now. If you persist in the feeling of being who you want to be, the subconscious will eventually override the external evidence and force the world to conform to your internal state. This is the law of your being. It is as certain as the rising of the sun. The silent builder is always working, always creating, always reflecting. It is entirely under your direction now. As you become more aware of the power of the subconscious, you will start to see the world as a fluid and plastic place. You will realize that nothing is set in stone. The circumstances that seem so solid and unchangeable are actually just temporary crystallizations of past mental states. They can be dissolved and reformed by the power of the soul today for the all now. You are like a sculptor who has realized that the stone is actually clay. You can reshape it at will, provided you have the patience and the persistence to hold the new form in your mind until it sets. This process requires a quiet confidence. There is no need for shouting, no need for frantic effort. The subconscious responds to the steady hum for the spirit today now. The subconscious responds to the deep, steady hum of certainty. It is the still, small voice within that carries the most authority. When you speak from that place of inner stillness, your word becomes law. You are no longer asking the universe for favors. You are announcing the new reality to the silent builder. You are the master of the house for the soul today now. The master of the house must have a house that reflects their will. The architecture of the subconscious is the secret of the ages, and you are now the one who holds the pen. Draw your life with boldness. Design your destiny with love. Feel the reality of your dreams in this very moment, and watch as the silent builder brings them into the light today for the spirit now. Imagine the subconscious as a vast, dark mirror that spans the entire horizon of your life. Every thought you send toward it is like a beam of light. If your thoughts are scattered and weak, the mirror reflects only a dim and confusing image. But when you focus your mind like a laser, the reflection becomes sharp, brilliant, and undeniable today for the soul today for now. You are currently looking at the reflection of your past thoughts. If you don't like what you see, do not waste your energy trying to fix the reflection. Turn your attention inward and change the light you are projecting. This is the only way to achieve lasting change. The silent builder is always watching the light. It is always taking the patterns for the spirit today now. It is taking the patterns you project and hardening them into physical experience. You are the source of the light. You are the master of the projection. In the silence of your own heart, you have the power to create any world you choose. The subconscious is your faithful partner in this divine play. It is the medium of your spirit for the soul in the world now. Respect its power, understand its laws, and use it with the wisdom of a sovereign creator. Your life is the greatest tome ever written, and every page is being printed by the silent builder, according to the instructions you give it this very second. The depth of the subconscious is the depth of the universe itself. There are no limits today for the spirit today for all now. It can reach across the globe to bring you an opportunity. It can reach into the future to prepare your path. It can reach into the past to heal old wounds that are blocking your progress. All it requires is your permission and your direction. You must stop being a victim of your subconscious and start being its director. Take responsibility for the soul today for now. Take responsibility for the impressions you have allowed to take root there. This is not about guilt or blame. It is about empowerment. If you created your current limitations through unconscious impressions, you can create your future freedom through conscious impressions. The silent builder is ready to work for you as soon as you stop working for the spirit today now. Align your conscious desires with your subconscious feelings, and you will become an unstoppable force of nature. The architecture of your life is in your hands. The silent builder is waiting. A blueprint is yours to design. Let the beauty of your vision be the only thing you ever allow to touch the soil of your soul today, for the spirit in the world today now. As you settle into the profound understanding of this silent builder, you will find that the need for external validation disappears. You will no longer look to the world to tell you who you are or what you are capable of. You will know that the world is only an echo. The real conversation is happening within. You will be a master for the soul in the world today now. You will become a master of the internal dialogue. You will speak to yourself with the kindness and authority of a benevolent king. You will nourish your subconscious with visions of glory and feelings of profound peace. And in doing so, you will find that the world begins to treat you with that same kindness and authority. Today for the spirit in the world today now. The mirror must reflect the king. The silent builder must build the palace. This is the inevitable conclusion of the law of mind. You are the architect, the builder, and the inhabitant of your own reality. The Tome of Knowledge has revealed the secret of the subconscious, and now you must live it. Every breath is an impression today for the soul today for all now. Every feeling is a command. Walk through the world with the quiet dignity of one who knows that the silent builder is always at work, turning your deepest dreams into the solid ground of your tomorrow. You are the master of the unseen realm, and the house you build with your thoughts is the temple where your spirit shall dwell for the spirit today, for all now. Chapter 3. The Law of Reversed Effort. The greatest paradox of the human experience lies in the realization that the harder you struggle to grasp a shadow, the faster it flees from your touch. In the world of physical labor, we are taught from childhood that intensity of effort is the only currency that buys results. But in the kingdom of the mind, this law is completely reversed today for the soul for all now. When you attempt to force a manifestation through the sheer power of will, you are inadvertently announcing to the universe that you do not currently possess that which you desire. This declaration of lack is instantly picked up by the subconscious mind, which then acts as a barrier, freezing the very reality you are trying to melt into form for the spirit today now. This is the law of reversed effort, a profound metaphysical truth that states when your desire and your imagination are in conflict. Your imagination, the feeling of the current reality, will always win. If you try to force yourself to be wealthy while your inner state is screaming that you are poor, the act of trying only deepens the groove today for the soul for now. Struggle is the language of the ego, while ease is the language of the spirit. The ego believes that it is a separate entity that must fight against a hostile or indifferent universe to get what it needs. It views the world as a place of scarcity, where only the most aggressive survive. Because of this, it approaches manifestation like a battle today for the spirit now. But the spirit knows that the universe is a friendly infinite mirror that simply reflects your dominant state of being. When you apply intense mental effort, you create a state of internal tension that acts like a wall of glass between you and your desires. You are pressing your face against the glass, but the very act of pressing creates the soul today for now. The secret to bypassing this wall is to relax the mental muscle. You must learn to desire without needing. You must learn to imagine the goal as a finished fact, and then let go of the how, the when, and the where. This letting go is not an act of weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual confidence in the world today, for the spirit for all now. The reason most people fail to see results is that they are mentally interfering with the creative process. They are constantly checking the mirror of the physical world to see if their thoughts are working. When they see no immediate change, they fall into a state of doubt, and that doubt becomes a new command that cancels out the soul for today for now. This is the mental equivalent of driving a car with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. You are burning a tremendous amount of energy, but you are staying exactly where you are. The law of reversed effort teaches us that the mind performs its most magnificent work when it is in a state of calm, detached certainty in the world today for now. This is why the moments just before sleep or just after waking are so powerful. In those states, the analytical, struggling mind is quiet, and the subconscious can receive the blueprint without the interference of doubt. You must treat your desires as if they were orders placed at a restaurant. Once you have given the order, the soul is today for all now. Once you have given the order to the kitchen, you do not go into the back and watch the chef. You sit at the table in total confidence that the meal is being prepared and will be delivered at the perfect moment. That period of waiting is not a time of anxiety, but a time of satisfied anticipation, to inhabit the state of the wish fulfilled today for the spirit now. To inhabit the state of the wish fulfilled, you must release the feeling of effort. If you are trying to manifest, you are still in the state of wanting, and wanting is a frequency of separation. As long as you want something, you are stating that you do not have it, and the universe will continue to provide you with the experience of wanting today for the soul now. To break this cycle, you must move from wanting to being. You must drape the feeling of your success around your shoulders like a royal robe until it feels as natural as your own skin. When a state becomes natural, effort disappears. You do not wake up and try to be your own name. You simply are it. You do not try to breathe. You are today for the spirit now. Understand that the mind is like a pool of water. If you hit the water with your fist in an attempt to make it clear, you only create more ripples and mud. But if you sit by the side of the pool and remain still, the sediment settles on its own, and the water becomes crystal clear, reflecting the sky perfectly. Your life is the soul today for the all now. Your life is the reflection on that water. The more you hit it with the fist of your willpower and your frantic efforts to change your circumstances, the more distorted the reflection becomes. True power comes from the ability to be mentally still in the face of contrary evidence. When the world shows you a lack of money, the spirit is today for now. But the sovereign mind looks at those facts and recognizes them as the old news of yesterday's thoughts. It does not give them the fuel of attention. Instead, it turns away from the ripples and focuses on the stillness of the desired state. This is the narrow path that few find, because the human ego is addicted to the feeling of its own effort today for now. Effort is a sign of resistance. If you feel a sense of heavy labor in your mental work, it means you are trying to coerce the subconscious mind, but the subconscious cannot be bullied. It can only be led. It is like a high-spirited horse. It will throw you if you pull too hard on the reins, but will carry you to the ends of the world today for now. Your task is to make the desired state so attractive and so vivid that the subconscious is drawn to it naturally. You do not force a flower to bloom by pulling at the petals. You provide the right environment, and the flower unfolds from within. The environment you must provide is one of mental ease. This is why gratitude is called today for the spirit now. Gratitude is the psychological state that says the gift has already been received. You cannot be truly grateful for something you are still trying to get. By shifting into a state of thanks, you automatically release the tension of effort. You move from the vibration of the beggar to the vibration of the heir today for the soul for all today now. The law of reversed effort also reveals why we often find what we are looking for only after we have stopped looking for it. When we finally give up, we aren't giving up on the desire. We are giving up on the struggle. We are releasing the tension that was keeping the desire at bay. In that moment of surrender, the mind is gold for the spirit now. As you practice this art of non-doing, you will find that your actions in the physical world change. You will no longer move from a place of desperation or have to. Instead, you will move from a place of inspiration. You will find yourself taking inspired action, steps that feel light, obvious and joyful today for the soul in the world now. The heavy lifting is handled by the subconscious, and you are simply the witness to the unfolding miracle. You become a spectator of your own success. This is the sovereign way. It is the realization that the mind is the only power, and that the mind operates best when it is at peace. You are the dreamer, and the dream is today for the spirit now. The profound stillness that comes with the release of effort is the birthroom of all great creations. When you stop the internal noise of how will this happen, and why isn't it here yet, you create a vacuum that the universe must fill. Nature abhors a vacuum, and a mind that is empty of struggle becomes a magnet for the soul for all now today. This is the true meaning of being poor in spirit. It is to be empty of the ego's frantic plans and loud demands, so that the divine mind can fill you with its own infinite supply. You must become comfortable with the silence. You must become comfortable with the feeling that you are doing nothing today for the spirit in the world for all now. The world will call you lazy or unrealistic, but the world is only looking at the surface. They do not see the massive gears of the subconscious turning. They do not see the invisible threads of coincidence being woven into a net of success. You are operating from the control room of reality, and in the control room, there is the soul today now. The dial you are tuning is your own expectation. If you expect a struggle, you will be given one, and your effort will be rewarded with more reasons to exert effort. But if you expect ease, if you expect the universe to conspire in your favor, if you expect that your every thought is a command, then that becomes your reality for the spirit today now. The law of reversed effort is a guardian that keeps the stressed and the fearful away from the treasures of the mind. It ensures that only those who can find peace within themselves can manifest peace in their lives. It is a filter that protects the creative power of the universe from being used for chaos today, for the soul in the world today now. To pass through this filter, you must leave your armor at the door. You must leave your swords and your shields of hard work and grit. You must enter the temple as a sovereign who knows that their word is enough. You do not need to fight for what is already yours. You do not need to sweat for what was created in the spirit today for all now. In the coming days, watch yourself. Notice when you begin to feel that familiar tension in your chest or that racing in your mind. Notice when you start to worry about the timing of your manifestation. In those moments, recognize that you have accidentally slipped back into the law of effort. You have started to believe for the soul today now. Remind yourself that the silent builder is on the job. Remind yourself that the universe is a mental construction and that ripples only distort the view. Relax your shoulders, soften your gaze, and return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Say to yourself, "It is done," not as a hope, but as a decree today for the spirit today for all now. To go deeper into the mastery of non-doing, you must confront the hidden fear that suggests that if you are not struggling, you are not deserving. This is a poison rooted in the collective unconscious, a shadow that tells the architect that the palace is only valid if the architect's hands are. Bleeding today for the soul in the world today now. When you release the need to suffer for your dreams, you open a floodgate of grace that the struggling mind cannot even conceive of. This is the state of flow where action becomes effortless and results become inevitable. You begin to understand that your only real work is the mental maintenance of your internal state for the spirit today now. The ego will often scream that you are being passive or that you are losing time. It will point to the clocks and the calendars, demanding that you do something to speed up the process. But the sovereign mind knows that time is a mental construct, a flexible fabric that can be stretched or compressed by your belief today for the soul today now. To move fast in the physical world, you must be slow in the mental world. You must move with the deliberate, unhurried pace of one who knows the outcome is already settled. This is the secret of the pregnant silence, the period where nothing seems to be happening on the surface, but everything is being born in the spirit today for all now. Every act of willpower is a confession of weakness. If you have to will yourself to be confident, it means you are currently feeling insecure. If you have to will yourself to be rich, it means you are currently feeling poor. The master does not use willpower. The master uses imagination today for the soul in the world today for the all now. Your visualizations must never feel like a chore. They must feel like a vacation. They must be a sanctuary where you go to enjoy the reality of your desires, not a workshop where you go to labor over them. When the joy of the imagination becomes greater than the fear of the physical, the law is transcended for the spirit today, for all now. Consider the bird that glides upon the thermal currents of the air. It does not flap its wings in a desperate attempt to stay aloft. It simply spreads them and allows the invisible power of the wind to carry it to heights it could never reach through its own strength alone. You are that bird, and the wind is the mind for the soul for all now. As you walk through your day, practice the sovereign stroll. Move as if you are the owner of every street you walk upon, the architect of every building you see, and the master of every circumstance you encounter. Do this not with arrogance, but with a quiet internal smile. When you encounter stress, observe it for the spirit today now. By refusing to struggle with the shadow, you allow it to dissipate. By remaining in a state of ease, you ensure that the next shadow to be cast will be one of beauty and harmony. This is how you live the law of reversed effort in real time. You become a center of calm in the midst of the storm today for the soul in the world today for now. Your desires are not things you have to get. They are things you have to permit. The only thing standing between you and the life of your dreams is your own mental resistance. The law of reversed effort is the tool you use to dissolve that resistance. It is the gentle rain that softens the hard ground today for the spirit in the world now. Success, health, and love will seek you out, for they are attracted to the mind that is at rest. You are the dreamer who has finally learned to enjoy the dream, and in that enjoyment, the dream becomes a masterpiece. The master key is in your hand, and it turns with the slightest touch today for the soul in the world today, for the all now. The world will wonder how you achieve so much while appearing to do so little. They will call it luck, they will call it magic, but you will know it is simply the law. You have returned to the source. You have mastered the art of divine non-doing. And in that mastery, you have found freedom today for the spirit for the all now today. Chapter 4. The Midnight Gateway. Programming Reality in the Theta State. The transition between the waking world and the depths of slumber is not merely a biological necessity, but a sacred bridge that connects the physical self with the infinite intelligence of the universe. This period, often characterized by the slowing of brain waves into the rhythmic and hypnotic theta state, is the most powerful window for the conscious architect to issue commands to the silent builder. It is the midnight gateway, a mystical interval where the analytical guard of the logical mind relaxes its vigilance, and the veil between the seen and the unseen becomes thin and permeable. Most individuals drift across this bridge in a state of mental chaos, carrying with them the fragments of the day's anxieties, the echoes of their frustrations, and the heavy shadows of their fears. They do not realize that the last thoughts held before the flicker of consciousness goes out are the seeds that will be nurtured in the dark laboratory of the night. By the time they wake, the subconscious has already begun to crystallize those random anxieties into the circumstances of their tomorrow. To master the mind is to seize this gateway with absolute intention, transforming the act of falling asleep. In the stillness of the bedroom, as the body grows heavy and the world of objects begins to fade, you are entering the workshop of the soul. In this state, the mind is no longer distracted by the sensory input of the physical environment. The light of the eyes is extinguished so that the light of the imagination can burn with a greater brilliance. This is the moment to perform the internal work. You must understand that the subconscious does not differentiate between a physical experience and a vividly felt mental one. Therefore, the midnight gateway is the ideal time to inhabit the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You do not need to visualize a long, complex movie of your future. You only need to select a single, short, and potent scene that implies that your desire has already been realized. This scene should be thick with sensory detail and saturated with the emotion of naturalness. If you desire health, do not visualize the process of healing. Instead, inhabit the feeling of a body that is already vibrant and strong, perhaps by imagining a friend congratulating you on your vitality, or feeling the firm grip of a hand in a gesture of shared strength. The key is to dwell within the scene. The effectiveness of the Midnight Gateway lies in the absence of resistance. During the day, when you affirm a new reality, the logical mind often scoffs and points to the bank balance, the medical report, or the empty chair as evidence to the contrary. But in the twilight state of Theta, the logical mind is drowsy and its voice is muffled. In this silence, the seeds of your new reality can take root. You must persist in the feeling of the desire achieved until it dominates the atmosphere of your mind. You are not begging the universe for a favor. You are assuming a new identity. As you linger in this state, you are merging your consciousness with the frequency of your goal. You are telling the silent builder that this is who you are, and the silent builder, which operates without judgment, accepts. The night is not a void. It is a period of intense creative activity where the blueprints you provided at the gateway are turned into the solid ground of your future. To walk through the Midnight Gateway with sovereignty, you must leave the baggage of the day at the door. Every complaint, every resentment, and every worry about the Shio must be discarded. If you carry these into the sleep state, you must become a gatekeeper of your own awareness. Before you close your eyes, forgive the day for whatever it failed to provide and release any attachment to the current appearance of things. Enter the silence as a clean slate, a pure consciousness ready to be impressed by the highest vision you can conceive. This requires a profound level of mental discipline for the habit of the human mind. You must consciously redirect your attention to the feeling of the I am already being what you want to be. If the mind wanders, gently lead it back to the feeling of satisfaction. Do not fight the wandering thoughts. Simply ignore them and return to the fragrance of the wish fulfilled. This is the art of mental alchemy, where the lead of daily struggle is transmuted into the gold of a new life. The duration of the scene you choose is less important than the intensity of the feeling it evokes. A 3-second loop of a hand grasping a key, a voice saying, "It is done," or the feeling of a cool breeze in a place you've dreamed of visiting, can be more effective than an hour of unfocused daydreaming. You must repeat this scene over and over in your mind until it takes on the tones of reality. You are aiming for the point of saturation, where the subconscious is so convinced of the truth of the image that it begins to respond as if it were a physical fact. When you reach this point, you will feel a sense of relief, a deep thank you rising from your soul. This is the signal that the impression has been made. At this stage, you can let go and drift into the deep sleep of the just. Knowing that the wheels of the universe are already turning in your favor, you have done your part as the architect. Now the silent builder takes over, weaving the invisible threads of coincidence and opportunity that will lead you to the manifestation. Understand that the sleep state is a return to the source, a period where the individual mind recharges its connection with the infinite power. By entering this state with a specific intention, you are focusing that infinite power onto a single point. You are using the vast reservoir of the universal mind to fuel your personal expansion. This is why the morning after a successful midnight decree often feels different. You may wake up with a new sense of clarity, a strange feeling of peace, or an inexplicable urge to take a certain action. These are the first ripples of the new reality making their way into the physical world. Do not question them and do not analyze them. Simply move with the flow. The Midnight Gateway has set a new law into motion, and the world has no choice but to obey. You have utilized the most potent time of the day to perform the most important work of your life. You have reclaimed your role as designer. The mastery of the Theta State also allows you to dissolve the boundaries of time and space. In the realm of the subconscious, there is no later and there is no there. Everything is an eternal now and an infinite here. When you inhabit the feeling of your desire at the gateway, you are not waiting for it to happen in the future. You are claiming it as a present reality in the deep. You are collapsing the distance between the dreamer and the dream. This collapse is what triggers the rapid manifestation in the physical world. The physical world is like a shadow that must eventually follow the movement of the object that casts it. By changing your mental state at the midnight gateway, you have moved the object. The shadow may take a moment to catch up, but it's movement. Your task is to remain faithful to the new position. Do not look back at the old shadow in the morning. Keep your inner gaze fixed on the light of the vision you held at the gate. This practice is the ultimate act of trust in the invisible. It is a recognition that the physical world is the secondary realm, and the mental world is the primary one. By prioritizing the work at the midnight gate, you are no longer trying to push the world into shape with your hands. You are allowing the world to be drawn into shape by the magnetism of your subconscious. This is the effortless path of the sovereign mind. It is a path of quiet power, where the most significant changes occur in the silence of the night. As you continue this practice, you will find that the bridge becomes easier to cross. Your imagination will become more vivid, your feelings more profound, and your results more consistent. You are learning to live in two worlds at once, the world of form and the world of spirit, and you are realizing that the latter is the true master of the former. The silence of the night is your sanctuary, and the midnight gateway is your throne. Take your seat with the dignity of power. Do not let the distractions of the world follow you into the inner chamber. This is your time to communicate with the infinite, to shape the clay of your life, and to decree the beauty of your tomorrow. Let every breath as you drift towards sleep be a confirmation of your wish fulfilled. Let every heartbeat be a seal upon the contract you are making with the silent builder of your world. You are the architect, the midnight is your drafting table, and the universe is ready to build whatever you have the courage to imagine. The gateway is open. Step through it with the certainty of a king, and let the silent builder bring your kingdom into the light. The profound depth of the Theta State is not just a place for manifestation, but a place for the total recalibration of being. While you are in this fluid mental state, you can erase the deep-seated programs of unworthiness and fear that have haunted you for years. You can literally rewrite the story of who you are. Instead of just asking for a thing, ask to become the person for whom that thing is natural. Use the midnight gateway to assume the character, the poise, and the wisdom of your highest self today. See yourself through the eyes of the person you aspire to be. Feel the confidence in your stride, the clarity in your thoughts, and the love in your heart. When you impress the subconscious with a new identity, the old circumstances that were tied to the old identity begin to fall away like dead leaves. You are not just changing your life. You are undergoing a profound metamorphosis. The silent builder is capable of recreating you from the inside out, provided you give it the new template at the moment of the gateway. As you become a master of this midnight transition, you will realize that sleep is the most productive part of your day. It is the time when the heavy lifting of creation is done without the friction of human ego. You will begin to look forward to night. You will guard your evening hours, ensuring that you enter the gateway in a state of peace and high vibration. You will realize that the world's obsession with hustle and grind is a misunderstanding of the true nature of power. True power is found in the stillness of the Theta State, in the precision of the mental image, and in the unwavering conviction of the felt desire. You are moving beyond the realm of the common man and into the realm of the conscious creator. The midnight gateway is your secret portal to the infinite, and you have finally learned how to use the key. Let the light of your vision be the last thing you see before the darkness of sleep takes you. Let the feeling of your success be the last thing you touch before the world disappears. You are a sovereign mind, and the night is your domain. The blueprints you draw at the gateway will become the cathedrals of your tomorrow. Trust the process, trust the silent builder, and trust the infinite intelligence that breathes through you. The Master has returned to the gate, and the universe is waiting for the word. Speak it in the silence of your heart, and feel it now. The subtle boundary between wakefulness and sleep is the most fertile ground for the planting of your deepest convictions, because it is the only time when the conscious mind voluntarily abdicates its throne. In this delicate suspension of reality, your identity becomes fluid, and the rigid walls of your personality soften. You must use this fluidity to your advantage by refusing. Do not carry the ghost of the person you were during the day into the sacred chamber of the night. If the day was marked by frustration, do not analyze the frustration as you lay your head upon the pillow. To do so is to invite the subconscious to replicate that very state in the hours to come. Instead, use the midnight gateway to perform a radical revision of your history in the mind. In your mind, replay the events of the day not as they occurred, but as you would have preferred them to unfold. If you encountered a closed door, visualize it swinging wide open with a welcoming grace. If you felt the sting of lack, imagine the warmth of an unexpected abundance. By revising the day before you surrender to the fatal waves, you are cleaning the slate for the soul, ensuring that the silent builder has only the highest materials to work with while you rest in the deep silence of the soul. This process of nocturnal programming requires a specialized form of mental focus that is both intense and relaxed. You are not striving to create a masterpiece through effort. You are allowing a state to saturate your being until it becomes your only truth. As the physical senses dim, the inner sense of touch becomes the primary tool of the sovereign architect. You must learn to mentally touch the objects of your desire within the midnight gateway. If you seek a new home, feel the cool metal of the key in your palm and the texture of the grain in the wooden door. If you seek a state of profound influence, feel the vibration of your voice. This sensory vividness is the secret language that the subconscious understands without fail. It does not respond to the abstract concept of success, but it responds instantly to the physical and emotional feeling of it. When you merge the sensory detail with the deep, rhythmic breathing of approaching sleep, you are weaving your desire into the very fabric of your biological rhythm. You are telling the universe that your dream is no longer a future possibility, but a present, breathing fact. Understand that while you sleep, your subconscious mind remains in a state of constant, directed activity. It is the repository of the infinite, and it possesses the ability to access every heart and every mind in the cosmos to bring your decree to pass in the waking world. When you enter the gateway with a specific feeling, you are setting a spiritual law into motion that remains active long after your conscious memory has faded into the dark. You are essentially setting the coordinates for a journey that will take place in the invisible realms. The silent builder spends the night constructing the bridges of coincidence for your future success. Those strange and beautiful encounters, sudden flashes of intuition, and unexpected phone calls that will appear in your waking life to lead you toward your goal. If you enter the gateway in a state of peace, the builder constructs a path of peace. If you enter in a state of triumph, the builder constructs a path of victory. The night is the period of gestation, and your feeling is the seed. Do not disturb the soil in the morning with doubt. Trust that the work started at the midnight gateway is being carried out with a precision that defies human logic. The midnight gateway also serves as a sanctuary from the collective consciousness of the world. During the day, you are bombarded by the fears, the limitations, and the chaotic vibrations of billions of other minds. It can be difficult to remain centered in your own sovereignty when the noise of the marketplace is so loud. But at night, in the privacy of your own consciousness, you are alone with the all. You have the opportunity to disconnect from the global mind of lack and reconnect with the Asiya infinite mind of abundance. Use this time to reaffirm your unique identity as the architect. Remind yourself that you are not subject to the laws of the crowd, but to the laws of your own mental kingdom. As you drift across the bridge into Theta, feel yourself being insulated by a golden light of certainty. This light is your protection and your power. It ensures that the only influences reaching your subconscious are the ones you have consciously invited in tonight. You are the sole inhabitant of your midnight temple, and the decrees you issue, there are the only ones that have the power to shape your world. As you become more practiced in seizing this gateway, you will find that the quality of your dreams begins to change. Your dreams will move from being reflections of your daily stresses to being visions of your future possibilities in the light. You may even find yourself practicing your new state within the dream itself, experiencing the reality of your wish, fulfilled with a clarity that surpasses the waking state. This is a sign that the subconscious has been fully impressed. When the dream and the desire become one, the manifestation in the physical world is imminent. The midnight gateway has done its work. You have successfully bypassed the guard, issued the order, and seen the blueprint accepted by the master builder. You can now move through your waking hours with a strange, quiet confidence, for you know something that the rest of the world does not. You know that the real world is being built in the shadows of the night, and you are the one who holds the golden pen. The night is your greatest ally because it provides the silence necessary for the most profound alchemy. The noise of the day is for the effect. The silence of the night is for the cause. Do not fear the dark, for it is in the darkness that the most beautiful stars are seen and the most powerful structures are conceived. The midnight gateway is your portal to the infinite now, a recurring opportunity to start your life over, to heal what was broken, and to command what was missing. Treat this time with the reverence it deserves. Let your last thought be a crown of glory, and your last feeling be a scepter of power. For as you fall asleep in the arms of the infinite, you are not merely resting your body. You are giving birth to a new world. The architect is at work, the gateway is secure, and the dawn will bear witness to the majesty of your midnight decree. The stillness of the midnight hour is not merely a pause in the rhythm of your life, but a direct encounter with the source of all vibration. To truly master the gateway, you must understand that the subconscious mind is the guardian of the body's chemistry. When you enter the Theta State with a specific feeling, you are doing more than imagining a future. You are recalibrating the very atoms of your current existence. This is the moment where the abstract becomes tangible. As you lie in the quiet, do not just see your success, feel the weight of it in your bones. If your desire involves a physical change, feel the surge of health. Feel it through your limbs, as if it were a current of liquid light. If it involves a change in your environment, feel the temperature of the air in that new place, the specific resistance of the ground beneath your feet, and the emotional relief that accompanies the realization that you have finally arrived. This level of sensory immersion acts as a magnetic command. It perceives this vividness as a present moment emergency of truth, and it immediately begins to align your cellular structure and your external circumstances to match the high-definition image you have provided. You must become an artist of the already. Most people spend their lives in the not yet, a mental state of perpetual waiting that only reinforces the distance. But at the midnight gateway, the not yet has no power. Here, you are a time traveler who has already reached the destination. You must learn to ignore the fact that your physical body is still lying in the same bed, in the same room, with the same bank balance. That physical evidence is a fading echo. The reality is what you are feeling in the darkness of the sacred room. You must stay within that feeling until it develops the solidity of an actual memory. When you can look back on your desire as if it has already happened, you have achieved the state of sovereign certainty. This is the Sabbath of the mind, the point where you stop working because the work is finished. As you drift into sleep from this plateau, you are handing over a blueprint. There is no doubt in a finished work, and therefore there is no hesitation in the manifestation that follows. This practice transforms the very nature of sleep itself. Sleep becomes a period of divine communion, a time when your individual consciousness merges with the universal sea of possibility. In this union, your personal desires are infused with the power of the infinite. You are no longer trying to move a mountain with a shovel. You are moving it with the very law that created the mountain in the first place. This is why the state of mind you hold as you cross the threshold is the most important decision you will make in your entire day. It is the rudder that determines the direction of your soul's journey through the night of the soul. If you allow yourself to dwell on the how or the when, you are inviting the analytical mind to stay awake and interfere with the process. You must silence the how with the absolute authority of the I am. By simply being the person who has already achieved the goal, the how becomes the responsibility of the universe. The silent builder knows 1,000 ways. A silent builder knows 1,000 ways to bring your vision to life that your conscious mind could never perceive. Your only duty is to remain at the gateway, steadfast in your feeling, until the waves of sleep carry you into the deep. As you awaken the next morning, the first few seconds are just as critical as the last few seconds before sleep. This is the return. Do not immediately rush to your phone or your list of chores. Stay in the stillness for a moment and reclaim the feeling you held the night before. If you did the work correctly at the midnight gateway, you will feel a strange sense of knowing. You will not feel the frantic need to make things happen, because you will feel that they have already happened in the realm of mind. This is the mark of the conscious architect. You walk through the day as if you are keeping a magnificent secret. The world may look the same for a short while longer, but you know that the foundations have been poured and the walls are rising in the invisible. You are no longer looking for signs. You are the sign. Your composure and your peace are the manifestations. The midnight gateway is the ultimate training ground for the soul. It teaches you that you are not a victim of the dark, nor are you a slave to the day. You are the sovereign observer who stands at the center of both. By mastering the transition between these two worlds, you are mastering the transition between thought and form. You are learning that the universe is mental. The gateway is a gift, a recurring opportunity to reinvent yourself and your world every 24 hours. Do not waste another night in the pursuit of shadows. Take your place at the bridge, hold the golden key of your feeling, and step into the infinite with the grace of a master. The silent builder is ready, the theta waves are calling, and the architecture is waiting. Every night is a rehearsal for a new life. As you become more proficient, you will realize that the midnight gateway is where the real history of the world is written. Wars are won, fortunes are made, and healings are accomplished long before they ever appear on the stage of the physical world. They are birthed in the quiet intensity of a mind that refuses to accept less. You are now part of that hidden lineage of creators who know that the darkness is the womb of the light. Let your heart be light as you approach the gate. Let your mind be clear as you issue your decree. And as you surrender to the night, do so with the profound peace of one who knows that the dawn is not just a new day, but a new world designed by your hand today. Chapter 5. The Sovereign Mirror, Collapsing the Illusion of Scarcity. The physical world you behold with your eyes is not a fixed reality, but a living, breathing mirror that has no power to initiate, only to reflect. To understand this is to break the most fundamental chain of human suffering. For most people live their entire lives as slaves to the reflection, reacting to the shadows on the glass as if they were the source of light. When you look at your life and see a lack of resources, a lack of health, or a lack of connection, you are looking at a delayed broadcast of your past mental states. This is the sovereign mirror, and its only function is to confirm what you have already accepted as true in the depths of your consciousness. To change the world, you must stop trying to manipulate the reflection. Instead, you must change the image you are projecting from within. Scarcity is the ultimate illusion, a ghost that haunts the mind only because the mind has forgotten its own infinite nature. In the kingdom of the mind, there is no shortage of anything, for the substance from which all things are made is thought, and thought is as limitless as the universe itself. The moment you stop reacting to the external world and start commanding your internal state, you begin to collapse the illusion and reveal the abundance that has always been waiting behind the veil of your own doubt. Every reaction you have to the physical world is a signature on a contract that binds you to that current reality. If you see a high price and feel a sting of anxiety, you are telling the mirror that you are someone who lacks, and the mirror, being a faithful servant, will reorganize your tomorrow to provide you with more reasons to feel that same anxiety. If you see a closed door and feel rejected, you are decreeing your own exclusion. The sovereign mind knows that the mirror is always a step behind the thought. Therefore, the master does not look at the mirror to see what is possible. The master looks at the mirror only to see what they used to believe. When you encounter scarcity in the world, you must meet it with a divine indifference. You must realize that what you are seeing is the old news of your previous vibrations. Instead of fighting the reflection, you must turn your gaze inward and claim the presence of the very thing that appears to be missing. This is not a form of denial, but a form of higher realization. You are denying the finality of the shadow so that you can affirm the reality of the light. By remaining unshakable in your inner conviction of abundance, you force the mirror to eventually tilt and show you the new image you are projecting. The illusion of scarcity thrives on the belief that there is a finite amount of good to be distributed, and that if one person has more, another must have less. This is the logic of the material world, but it is a lie in the mental world. The universe is not a pie of a certain size. It is a fountain that expands its flow based on the size of the vessel that receives it. Your mind is that vessel. If you think small, the fountain provides a trickle. If you think in terms of infinite sovereignty, the fountain becomes a flood. You must learn to look past the appearance of not enough and see the invisible supply that permeates every atom of existence. There is no such thing as a vacuum in nature. Every empty space is filled with potential. When you claim a desire as a finished fact, you are not taking from anyone else. You are simply calling a new reality into form from the infinite storehouse of the all. You are a creator, not a competitor. When you stop competing for what is already there and start creating what has never been, the illusion of scarcity vanishes because you are the source of the supply. To inhabit the state of sovereignty, you must become comfortable with the feeling of having, even when the hands are empty. This is the bridge across the abyss of lack. The struggling mind wants to wait for the money to feel rich, for the health to feel strong, or for the love to feel worthy. But this is a reversal of the law. You must feel rich to attract the money. You must feel strong to manifest the health. You must feel worthy to invite the love. The feeling is the cause, and the physical manifestation is the effect. If you wait for the effect to provide the feeling, you will wait forever, for the mirror cannot smile until you smile first. This requires a radical act of mental courage. It means standing in the middle of a desert and feeling the cool spray of a waterfall. It means looking at a mountain of debt and feeling the relief of absolute financial freedom. When you can do this without blinking, when you can maintain that inner state despite all the evidence of your senses, you have mastered the mirror. You have moved from being a victim of circumstance to being the architect of your own destiny. The sovereign mind does not negotiate with the shadow. It does not ask the mirror for permission to be happy, nor does it wait for a sign to be confident. It understands that the only sign it will ever receive is the one it creates itself. Most people are sign seekers, always looking for a coincidence or a piece of luck to tell them they are on the right path. But to seek a sign is to admit that you are not the one who creates the path. The master is the sign maker. When you decide that you are successful, the universe begins to scatter signs like breadcrumbs to confirm your decision. These signs are not instructions. They are reflections. They are the mirror's way of saying, yes, I see the new image you are projecting. Do not give your power away to omens or external conditions. Your inner feeling is the only authority that matters. If you feel it, it is a law. If you believe it, it is a fact. The mirror has no choice but to follow the decree of the sovereign mind. Scarcity is often reinforced by the company we keep and the stories we consume. The world is addicted to the narrative of struggle, the drama of the underdog, and the glorification of hard work. While these may be noble in a purely physical sense, they are traps in the metaphysical sense. They keep your attention fixed on the difficulty, and whatever you give your attention to, you multiply. To break the illusion of scarcity, you must stop participating in collective litany. Of times are tough, or it's a struggle, you must insulate your mind from the vibrations of the marketplace. You must become a resident of your own inner kingdom, where the laws of the world do not apply. In your kingdom, there are no recessions, no droughts, and no shortages. There is only the constant, radiant expansion of your own awareness in this sanctuary. By living in this mental sanctuary, you become a beacon of abundance in a world of lack. People will wonder why you always seem to have what you need, why doors open for you, and why luck follows you. You will know that it is not luck. It is simply the mirror reflecting a mind that has refused to accept the illusion of scarcity. Collapse the distance between you and desires. Realize that there is no there to get to. There is only here and now. If you think of your dream as something that will happen in the future, you are placing it on a horizon that will always stay ahead of you as you walk. You are telling the mirror that your dream is something you do not have, and the mirror will dutifully keep it in the future, forever out of reach. To collapse the illusion, you must bring the future into the present. You must wear the state of your wish fulfilled right now, in this very second, as you listen to these words. Feel the reality of it. Do not look for it in the room. Look for it in the feeling. When the feeling of having becomes more natural than the feeling of wanting, the manifestation is done. The mirror is already in the process of reorganizing your physical world to match the new pressure of your conviction. The time it takes to appear is only the time it takes for your own mind to fully accept the new state as a permanent fact. The mirror of the universe is also a mirror of your self-image. You can never have more than you believe you are worth. If you feel like a beggar, the universe will provide you with the crumbs that a beggar deserves. If you feel like a sovereign, the universe will provide you with a kingdom. This is why the most important work you will ever do is the internal elevation of your own identity. You must stop defining yourself by your past, by your mistakes, or by your current limitations. These are all just old reflections. You are the one who stands before the mirror, not the image in it. You have the power to reinvent yourself in an instant. Claim the qualities you admire. Assume the posture of the person you want to be. When you change the I am at the center of your being, the entire world of it is must shift to accommodate the new king. Scarcity cannot exist in the presence of a mind that knows its own divinity. As you walk through the world, treat everything you see as a dream that is waiting for your command. When you see beauty, claim it as a reflection of your own inner light. When you see abundance in others, do not feel envy. Feel joy, for their abundance is proof that the fountain is flowing. And your joy is the signal that you are ready to receive your own share. Envy is a confession of scarcity. It is a statement that there is only so much to go around. Celebration is a confession of abundance. It is a statement that the supply is infinite. By blessing the success of others, you are telling the mirror that you are in harmony with success today. The mirror will reflect that harmony back to you in your own affairs. You are the master of the vibration, and the vibration of abundance is the only one allowed in your sanctuary. The illusion of scarcity is the final threshold that the architect must cross. It is the test of your faith in the unseen over the seen. The world will scream its facts at you right now. It will show you empty pockets and closed doors and tell you to be realistic. But the architect knows that what the world calls realistic is just a description of the graveyard. We are not interested in the graveyard. We are interested in the life that is bursting forth from the mind. Stand firm. Do not let the mirror intimidate you. It is only a piece of glass. It is only reflecting your own shadow. Turn back to the light. Claim your sovereignty. Collapsing the illusion is as simple as refusing to believe in it any longer. When the mind is full of the presence of its own power, there is no room for the ghost of scarcity to enter. You are the source. You are the center. You are the sovereign mind that controls everything. And your kingdom is overflowing with the infinite riches of the all. The light that you project onto the mirror of reality is the only thing that can ever illuminate your path. If you project the dim light of trying and hoping, the path will always remain shadowed and uncertain. But if you project the brilliant, white light of knowing and being here, the path will reveal itself with absolute clarity. You must understand that the mirror does not have a will of its own. It is not trying to teach you a lesson, nor is it trying to punish you. It is a mathematical certainty. It is a perfect mechanism that translates thought into form with the precision of a master craftsman. If the output is lack, the input was lack. If the output is abundance, the input was abundance. By taking total responsibility for the input, you gain total control over the output. This is the ultimate freedom. You are no longer a victim of a random and chaotic universe. You are the director of a perfectly ordered mental laboratory. As you deepen your practice, you will find the world loses its thickness. It will start to feel more like a liquid, more responsive to your moods and your expectations. You will notice that your thoughts have a shorter travel time before they appear in the physical world. This is because you have removed the resistance of doubt. Doubt is the friction that slows down the manifestation. When you remove doubt, you are greasing the gears. Things that used to take years can now take months. Things that used to take months can now take days. You are moving into the realm of the miraculous, which is simply the realm where the mind is recognized as the only cause. The illusion of scarcity is the friction that you are now leaving behind. Rest in the certainty that you are provided for by existence. You do not have to earn the right to be abundant any more than a tree has to earn the right to grow or a star has to earn the right to shine. You are a natural expression of the infinite mind, and the infinite mind is by definition all-sufficient. The only thing that can ever cut you off from that supply is your own mental belief in separation from the source. When you realize that you and the source are one, the separation vanishes, and the supply flows as naturally as breath. You are the sovereign in front of the mirror. The glass is clear, the image is yours to choose, and the reflection is guaranteed. Step into your power, look at the world, and decree the abundance that is your birthright. The illusion is gone. Chapter End. The Return to the Throne. Living as a conscious architect, the journey through the corridors of the mind has brought you to the ultimate threshold, where the seeker disappears and only the sovereign remains. To return to the throne is not to reach a new destination, but to finally accept the authority that has been yours since the moment you were breathed into existence. You have spent lifetimes wandering in the shadows of your own creation, believing yourself to be a subject of the world's whims, a victim of time, and a servant to the circumstances of your birth. But the veil has been torn away. You now know that the throne is not a physical seat of power in a distant palace. It is the center of your own awareness, the point of stillness from which all movement originates. To live as a conscious architect is to inhabit this. recognizing that every experience, every object, and every interaction is a guest invited by the vibration of your own soul. The return is a homecoming to the realization that there is no out there, that is not first in here. The world is no longer a hostile wilderness to be conquered, but a kingdom to be administered with the wisdom, love, and unwavering certainty of a master. Living from the throne requires a radical shift in your relationship with the concept of reality. Most of humanity is engaged in a perpetual dialogue with the past, reacting to the echoes of yesterday as if they were the final truth of today. But the architect lives in the eternal now, the only place where the seeds of the future can be sown. From your position of sovereignty, you understand that the physical world is a delayed broadcast, a beautiful but fading shadow of your internal state. You do not wait for the shadow to move before you change your posture. You move within, and you allow the shadow to catch up in its own time. This requires a profound level of mental discipline, a refusal to be seduced by the evidence of the senses in this world. When that evidence contradicts your divine decree, you walk through the world with the poise of a monarch who has already seen the victory and is simply watching the parade unfold. You are no longer moved by the storms of the marketplace or the opinions of the crowd, for you know that their reality is merely a reflection of their own confusion, and your reality is your design. The mark of the returned sovereign is a quiet, unshakable peace. This peace is not the absence of activity, but the absence of friction. In the world of the struggle, everything is a fight against gravity, a constant push against the resistance of a solid world. But for the architect, the world has become plastic, fluid, and responsive. You have learned that force is for the weak. While alignment is the tool of the powerful, you do not need to shout, you do not need to hustle, and you do not need to manipulate others when you are aligned with your internal vision. You simply hold the frequency of your wish fulfilled, and the universe reorganizes itself around you with mathematical precision. You move through your days with an effortless grace in the now. You have delegated the construction to the silent builder, the infinite subconscious intelligence that knows how to turn a thought into an atom. Your only task is to remain seated on the throne of your conviction, guarding the gates of your mind from any thought that would deny your divinity. As a conscious architect, you recognize that your attention is your most sacred asset. It is the golden thread with which you weave the tapestry of your life. Where you place your gaze, you give life. Where you withdraw your gaze, you allow things to wither and fade. You have become a master of selective observation. You no longer waste your energy on the narratives of lack, disease, or conflict that dominate the collective mind. Instead, you look for the beauty. By focusing your attention on these qualities, you act as a sun, providing the warmth and light necessary for them to grow into your physical experience. You understand that to criticize the world is to create more of what you despise, and to bless the world is to call forth its hidden perfection. You live as a source of light, not a reactor to darkness. From your throne today, the return to the throne also signifies the end of all waiting. The concept of someday is a trap designed to keep the sovereign in exile. The architect knows that the only time is now, and the only place is here. If you are waiting for a change in your bank account, your health, or your relationships to feel happy and successful, you are still a prisoner of the mirror here. The returned master takes the feeling first. You claim the success now, you inhabit the health now, and you radiate the love now. By the time the physical manifestation arrives, it feels like an old story, for you have lived with the reality of it in your mind for so long that its appearance in the physical world is merely a formality. You are no longer surprised by miracles. Understand that your sovereignty is not a gift that can be given or taken away by any external force. It is the fundamental nature of your being. You have the right to be, to do, and to have anything that you can mentally conceive and emotionally accept. The only limits that exist are the ones you have drawn in the sand of your own mind. to live as a conscious architect now. You are an ever-expanding consciousness, a divine explorer in the realm of infinite possibility. You do not ask for permission to grow, and you do not apologize for your abundance. You recognize that your expansion is the universe's expansion, and your joy is the fulfillment of the divine plan. You are the dreamer who has woken up within the dream, using it for your own spirit. As you step back into the world after finishing this tome, do not be surprised if the world seems different. It will be different because you are different. The mountains will seem less daunting, the oceans less deep, and the people more like reflections of your own inner state. You will see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will hear music where others hear noise. You will walk with a confidence that is not based on what you have in your pockets, but on who you know yourself to be in your soul. You are a sovereign mind. You are the cause of your world. You are the architect of your destiny. The long exile in the land of not enough is over. The gates of the palace are wide open. The crown is heavy with the weight of truth today. Take your seat, breathe in the fragrance of your own power, and begin the work of creating a world that is worthy of your vision. The mind controls everything, and you are finally, truly, and eternally the master of your mind. Welcome home to the throne. The construction is finished. The reign has begun. Every word you have encountered has been a reminder of a truth. The return to the throne is a process of remembering that you are not the wave, but the ocean, not the ray, but the sun, not the thought, but the thinker. This realization is the ultimate master key. It unlocks every door and dissolves every barrier. You no longer need to search for the secrets of the ancients, for you have become the living embodiment of them. You are the alchemy. You are the magic. You are the law. Carry this understanding into every moment of your life. Let it be the silence behind your words and the power behind your actions. You are the conscious architect, and the universe is your canvas. Paint with the colors of heaven, build with the stones of eternity, and live with the freedom of a god. It is done.